you really have to pay attention to the trends. Right now, it's a lot of the 60s and 70s trends. I haven't
Okay.
seen orange carpet.
So, Marlene, you're in northern Indiana. Are you in Elkhart County? I'm just generally speaking.
Oh, I'm
LaGrange,
in Shipshewana, Indiana, in LaGrange County.
Shipshewana.
I don't know if you've ever been in Shipshewana, but it's
Oh
very
yeah.
touristy and
What's that like living next to, because it is kind of the tourist center of your community, isn't it, Shipshewana? What's that experience like? You have a lot of
well,
people probably coming through there.
yes, I've always enjoyed living here and I've had different jobs. I had a retail store. I used to do a lot of art classes and always doing something with art. So,
Hmm.
which is how I met Melissa. And in this area, I think most of the people probably depend on the tourists. It's a good way to make a living, I guess. I don't mind
What what
talking
kinds
to tourists. I
yeah,
enjoy people.
what kind of things do they ask you when you talk to them?
Oh, a lot of
I know sometimes
questions.
funny questions come out, but yeah, a lot of questions.
I don't know. I used to be a waitress for a while, and they'd ask, well, how do you have children? Well, just like everybody else, and yeah, it's
So
a
they need
lot
at
of,
that level.
yeah, a lot of people can't understand, how we can have a business if we don't have internet. Well, internet is almost a given if you have a business. You almost have to have some kind of email, which now it's fax to email, and which wasn't when I had my other businesses, but you can find things that you can't find any other way if you want to order something. So a lot of people in this area go to the library and they
Mhm.
just do their stuff at the library. I have a home office, which is right on our
Mhm.
property, so that isn't a
Mhm.
problem.
There's a process of learning one thing how to create and run and produce a successful magazine, even just making the magazine. But then I think there's another element you're talking about is like how to reach the public as
Yeah,
well. You're in an Amish, how you're in the technology aspect.
a lot of people in this area have it, so evidently they like it. But then
Mhm.
it's the problem of getting out into other areas. But there's
Hmm.
probably some Amish that wouldn't even read the magazine. I don't know. I've heard that there's areas that they can't have magazines. So that's how a lot of people in our area get the news is through the newspapers and the magazines.
What would it be? Diblat?
Deep Lot and the budget. A lot of people read the
The
budget.
budget. Why don't we jump in and talk about, since we kind of went into it a little bit, to talk about the magazine. It's plain and simple. Can you tell me how did it get started and what is it? What do people find in the magazine?
How it got started, I have wanted to start a magazine, an art and craft magazine, for years. That was kind of my
Mhm.
dreams in the early 2000s. Then I got into doing a lot of furniture refurnishing, refinishing, and redoing furniture, painting it and stuff.
Sorry, you were doing the actual finishing in the factories or in the
No,
workshops. Then the
just
spraying.
here.
Oh,
No,
just
just here in the shop where we live. I would bring
okay.
home furniture that I found at the antique sale and redo it and sell it. I had a booth at the flea market, which is probably, oh,
Hmm.
I think most people in the United States have heard of the Shipshewana Flea Market. It's huge. So I had a booth there, and Melissa came into my booth with one of her friends, Amish friends. This lady had taken art classes from me years ago. So she said, "Well, how much would that painting that and that be?" And I told her, and she was actually had another business and she needed paintings. So I did, I can't remember, I think it was like 12 paintings for her, and I would help her getting her spa started in Fort Wayne. My husband helped hang pictures and just do everything there. And when that job was done, she said she'd like to start a magazine with crafts and art and crafts. I said, if you want to do that, I want to be a part of it, because when we were doing that job in Fort Wayne, I told my husband, if you want to get stuff done, just ask Melissa. And it's just been a good fit, and I love the job meeting. I don't actually do that much crafts for the magazine. I write for it, like a little
Mhm.
inspirational thing, and I also we redo stuff, repurpose, and that's what the magazine is about. Is we have organizing, we have a lot of furniture redoing, and we also have inspirational stories. We have probably about 10 writers, so it's a little bit of everything. There's recipes in there too, so you get like the whole thing, how to reduce or reuse something,
Mhm.
painting, recipes, and then the inspirational sections.
Refurnishing or reusing. So you're talking about, is this to do with furniture? Or is this to do with other things?
It's with different things. I just redid a
Mhm.
lampshade using dye. You really have to pay attention to the trends that are going right now, which right now it's a lot of the 60s and 70s trends are coming back. I haven't
Okay.
seen orange carpet, but it's a lot, a
Keep your
lot
fingers
of other
crossed. Yeah.
things.
And you talk about trends. Is the magazine more for an Amish audience, a non-Amish audience? Is it meant to overlap to both? Are
Both,
there?
probably. It was started because of the young Amish not being able to access the tools for, say, some of these sites online, because we're not online a lot. The smartphones are prohibited in a lot of churches. And so
Mhm.
these young mothers, they're redoing stuff. So we can pay them. And so it's a way for them to make a living. Well, maybe not a living, but it'll help with the grocery money.
That's just so having
So,
contributors that you can support through the magazine. They can say
yes, yes.
you have a second
Um,
job or a side, kind of a side job, sideline.
yeah, Levina Eicher and Wanda Brunstetter are both of
Hmm.
our really cherished writers, and they write about their day to day life. Toby Swartz is
Hmm.
another writer that a lot of people look for his pieces in the magazine.
Hmm.
Then there's Leanne Miller. She's a young Amish mother, and she writes about life in general, about her day, day to day, and things she runs up against, because that's what we do in the evenings. We read a lot, or most people do. There may be some that don't read.
So having good reading material around, just talking about an Amish home here, is pretty important, I think, right? I mean, it's
Yeah, it's very
not
important,
just
because if they don't have that, they're going to reach for something they want to read. And if you know it's something that's not controversial and is spiritual based, that's what they're going to look for.
absolutely. So you're providing a piece of that, I guess, for Amish home, for Amish
Yeah,
families.
yeah, a piece
Gotcha.
of it.
Where can people find Plain and Simple? Where can they, how or where can they order or learn more about it at least?
They can call our regular number 260-768-7651 and just order it that way. or they can order it online. There is a website where they can order it and apply for the shows. I think Melissa put some really good short crafts on the website where you can see the stuff.
Great. Well, I'll have that in the description here of the video so people can find it. Should we also tell them about the craft shows?
Yes, we're on festival.net. You can go on there and see when they are. We have April 5th and 6th this year in Shipshewana. We have Rose Schmucker. She's an Amish lady. She's done a lot of classes and people collect her paintings. And then there's Marla Miller. She also has a big following. I'm pretty sure Wanda Brunstetter will be there, and also Lavina Eicher. She has new cookbooks. The
Great.
Ohio show, we haven't finalized everything yet, so
So next one, Shipshewana, April 5th and 6th.
yes.
Coming up. Is there anything else we should tell people before we go?
No, just call or go online, see what we're about,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, make sure and don't miss our shows,
Okay, great.
basically.